Easter, happy Easter, happy Easter. So excited to be with you on our daily Facebook Live. So excited to be with you. Yay, yay, yay. Hi, my name is Rhonda Britton, and today we are going to be talking about part 3 of the Wheel of Freedom. If you're not sure who the heck I am and how you came on this page, I help people master the fears that have been holding them back. And I'm not talking about physical fears because, yes, physical fears, we know those, we're aware of those, right? We're aware of our physical fear of our heights, our physical fear of snakes or spiders, etc. But what we want to do is actually focus on the emotional fears that silently, insidiously stop us from living the life our soul intended. So my job, my great joy is to support you in living the life your soul intended, whatever that means to you. You know, is your soul unleashed? Is your soul alive? Is it and you doing what it is meant to do? And Jezebel completely wants to get involved here. And I think she wants me to make more room on my computer table so that she can get up here and sit with us. Anyway, I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining me. So today we're going to talk about part 3 of our Wheel of Freedom. That's right. I'm just making sure that all is well here. I always like to double check and triple check. So give me a hey if you see me. Martin says hi. Facebook user says, it doesn't say who. Happy Easter. Yes, happy Easter. Today is the day of rebirth, right? Whether you believe in Easter or not, today is the day of rebirth. And I think it is completely appropriate, the Wheel of Freedom, that we are going to be talking about number 3 today. And that is our wholeness. What a beautiful thing to talk about on Easter. Because to me, Easter is, you know, I grew up in Lutheran growing up, and I used to be the head. I started our choir, our youth group, had everybody join a youth group. And I remember so vividly one Easter, me dressing up in a pink bunny outfit, you know, those pink, those one pajama outfits that we used to have when we were kids, right? They were just one piece. Well, I had a pink one. And I remember putting it on, going to church, and filling my Easter basket with candy. And I remember asking my minister, like, I'm going to hand out candy. And he was like, oh, I don't think so. And I'm like, yes. And I kind of did it. And I remember he was like, but you know, they just loved it. The kids just loved it. Right. I mixed up Christ and the Easter bunny all in one fellow swoop. But really, you know, for me, Easter is a symbol of rebirth, right? It is a symbol of rebirth. So whether you believe in it or not, we have a huge opportunity to take this day and the energy of the day, you know, because let me just stop for a minute and talk about the energies of certain days. So why do we all do New Year's resolutions? And yes, 89% of us don't achieve them 3 weeks later, but there's a reason we do things all at the same time. I want you to imagine that the entire world right now, you know, Christians, Catholics, etc., who believe in Easter, and then of course the Jews who are had Passover, middle of Passover, there is an energetic, right? There is an energetic happening, like every single person that is celebrating Easter or Passover, the energy in the last 24, 48 hours, we want to tap into that energy field. And that's why we do the work we do on certain days, because it's not like I have to do it on Easter. It's that I want to tap into the energy field of Easter, the feeling of the rebirth, the opening that is available to us. Because just as I've been saying day after day, week after week, since we have entered this global pandemic, we have a huge opportunity to speak up and say the truth and own our power. And if we do, and if we speak the truth and own our power and allow ourselves to be reborn in our own way, the world will change. You know, this is a huge opening for us. The world is going to be different when the global pandemic ends. And we not only want to be prepared for that, but we also want to decide what that looks like for each of us. How do we want to participate from now on? I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about how, you know, most everyone is having more downtime. Some of us aren't, but some of us are having more downtime, more family time, whether we like it or not, more couple time, more intimacy time, and whether we like it or not. And you know, we like seeing the birds in our yard and we like seeing the clean air. And I wonder how quickly we're going to want to go back to the hecticness of our lives. And how much are we going to want to stay and keep some of the things that we've experienced during this time? Like my niece has 4 kids, and she said to me, well, I already know what activities I'm going to quit. And she goes, it's been so nice. You know, on one hand, of course, she wants her kids to go to school. And of course, she wants to have her kids do activities, of course. But she started really looking at the activities and really understanding and even embracing more the family dynamic of being all together and really creating a family unit. And so she already told me, like, we're not going to do this one. We're not going to do this one. We're not going to do this. We're going to do these things instead, because I want to keep this feeling of ease on one hand, because she doesn't have to run around and drop her kids off and go pick them up. And also the connection that she's having with her family on a whole new level. So we want to think about what we've created in the last, month, since most of us have been in quarantine or isolation or incubation or solitude, whatever you want to call it. And whether we're alone or with our families, whether we like it or not, we get an opportunity to decide, wow, what do I like about this experience? What don't I like about this experience? How do I want to change the way I live my life? Remember, the very first Facebook Live I did when this global pandemic happened was all about the cracks in our foundation. And we all have cracks in our foundation, and we're seeing the cracks in our foundation. And I think that's one of the gifts that's being given to us, is we can no longer deny where we are afraid. We can no longer deny our cracks. We can no longer deny the places that we're not living the life our soul intended. We cannot deny it. It is kind of in our face. So that's the opportunity here to really create from anew. So when somebody says goodbye to stress and hello to building happiness, yeah. Like, how does that look? How do you let go of stress and build happiness, right? So, and if you go back to your job, or if your life is going to quote unquote go back to normal, is that the normal you want? These are the conversations that we want to have. And these are the things that I want you to be thinking about. How do you want to emerge from this time? How do you want to be reborn? What do you want to rebirth? Because today is Easter. And whether you believe it or not, we can tap into the energy of the rebirth that's happening on our planet right now, and actually decide individually what we want that rebirth to look like and what we want to embrace. I don't know about you, but that is such a gift to each of us. And even though there's horrible things going on in the world, people are dying, sick, fear, stress, losing jobs, losing businesses, etc. How can we transform that energy of destruction into energy of creation? Because that's, what happens in destruction, right? When there's a fire in Los Angeles, we've all experienced, now that we've had so many fires the last few years, we've all experienced that in the midst of a fire, when it's all done and said, that there are flowers and things that grow only after a fire. They need a fire to be born. And so maybe, again, would I wish this global pandemic on us? No, I would not. Would I wish this stress and uncomfortableness and loss of economic security and job loss on us? No, I don't. I don't wish this at all. And here we are. This is where we are. So instead of lamenting, instead of wishing this didn't happen, we get to actually decide, make a decision about what we want to keep, what we want to let go of, and get the skills so we can be bolder in our lives to make those choices, to be rebirthed in our own lives, to have the life our soul intended. So I'm all for us using this time of Easter to tap into that rebirth energy. And I invite you to spend sometime today, just in a few minutes of silence, or grab a piece of paper if you're willing, and just ask yourself, what do I want to keep from this global experience, this global pandemic experience? What do I want to keep? You know what I want to keep? I want to keep that we're all in community. I want to keep that people are fighting for each other and thinking of each other. I want to keep the kindness and gentleness. I want to keep the connection. And I want to keep the centeredness in my values, right? Like, what do you want to keep from this experience? And then what do you want to let go of? And what do you want to make instead? So what do you want to keep? Lori Ann says, I have to go through tough times to make positive change. I'm with you. I mean, I don't think, and you can read this 100 places, 100 different people have said some version of it. but you don't know what you're made of until the chips are down, right? You don't know what you're made of. You don't really know what your values are. You don't really know who you are until you go through tough times. Because you can sit there and say you're a lovely person, that you're a caring person, that you're a good person, that you're, think of others. You can, go getter. You can think of all that. You can make up anything you want. Oh, I'm a trusting person. I'm a loving person. I'm a giving person. You can, again, say all that about yourself. But when the chips are down, when times are tough, are you that person? Because again, when we are going through a difficult time, we are more fragile, right? We're more fragile, we're more vulnerable. And therefore we go down the hierarchy of needs, instead of going for self-realization, we're down here in safety and security. And that's okay. But can we keep our values intact, or do our values go out the door? Right? Character, this is when we know what our real character is. And I think it's not a time to be embarrassed by your character or embarrassed by maybe you breaking your values, but it's a time to awaken and go, oh, wow, I really don't live by my values the way I thought I did. Oh, wow. I mean, just like the masks, right? I had 6 N95 masks. And if you remember the story, I had 6 N95 masks in my garage because of the Los Angeles fires. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to keep those masks because I always say the zombie apocalypse, who knows when it's coming. And then I said to myself, really? That's your values, Rhonda? You're going to hoard your masks when nurses and doctors are dying? Oh yeah, I can't keep my masks. Well, what about the apocalypse? Well, if the apocalypse come, I'm saving some nurses and doctors. So I found a way. It's called Match Masks, I believe, or Mask Match. I don't remember, to be honest. I'll have to look it up again. Mask Match, I believe, mask-match. And you can give your N95 masks to a hospital, nurses, doctors, et cetera. And so that's what I did. But I had that moment, right? I had a moment of like, oh, what if I need them? What if I need them? Just like I have 2 cases of toilet paper in my garage. What if I need it? And of course, I've been giving toilet paper to my friends in the local area who don't have any. But again, it just, where are you hoarding? Where are you in lack? Where are you in limitation? Where are you in less than? Where are you competing and comparing, et cetera? So the community that has been revealed to me, Laura, the community that's been revealed to you. So the community that's been revealed to you, I hope that's something, is that what you want to keep? That you want to keep that community? Melissa says, I want to keep my connections and support system. Yeah. So what do you want to keep from this global pandemic? Go ahead and write it down right now in the comments below. Go ahead and tell me what it is that you want to keep from this experience, moving through this isolation, quarantine, incubation, solitude time. What do you want to keep? So Laura wants to keep the community, Melissa, connection and support. Lorianne has talked about tough times help her make positive changes. I know that's true for me. So, sometimes when we're kind of going along, right? When we're just going along, like going to work every day in our relationships, kind of going along, we don't have the courage to make the changes we want because we're kind of like, we're actually in that zombie mode. Like we're just day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And that day in, day out can become rhythmic, and we kind of forget that we have choice. So another Facebook user says, clean air, calmness, and serenity. Yeah, me too. Nancy says empathy. Shauna says realization of what is most important. Marina says self-reflection. Exactly. This is what we want, right? This is what we want to keep. So what do you want to let go of? So what if you realized you want to let go of that maybe you had in your life before, and you're like, I'm not doing that again. I've realized if I have clean air, calmness, and serenity, I mean, how many people here actually now care about the environment more because you've experienced what the world is like on pause? I mean, this is such a huge miracle in our lives. When have we lived through a moment that the whole world has stopped? Like the whole world has stopped. Almost the whole world has stopped. And all of us, again, the energy of the planet, the energy, everybody is stopped. Everybody is internal, even though there's this, because of this external thing, we're all going internal. And are we going to be brave enough to actually do the internal work so that we can have a new external world? So I want to keep the clean air, Martin says. somebody writes, what if I've realized that I'm not the people person that I thought? Yeah, that's okay. You need some more time by yourself than you thought. Completely okay. I know myself, everybody's like, oh, Rhonda, you're an extrovert. Well, I like people, et cetera. Of course, obviously I do love people. And I actually, if you use the criteria for introvert or extrovert is how do you get recharged being around people? And an introvert, how do you get recharged is being yourself, being by yourself. I'm a total introvert because I need to be recharged by myself. So I need a lot of solitude. Now I love being around people and I need solitude as well. So you might have been in a place where people, because your job's people, family, everything. And then now you get to stop and go, wow, I've never actually had space to listen to myself. I've never actually had space to ask myself what I want or what I need. So I love that you're realizing that maybe you're not the people person you thought you were. That's an excellent insight. Laura says, fear of being lost in it all, not being substantial. Yeah, so Laura is saying that she does not want to be lost. She doesn't want to be invisible, insignificant. That what I'm hearing from Laura, and again, this may not be her words, but what I'm hearing is she wants to make an impact, right? She wants to make something substantial of her life. Awesome. That's fantastic. So then Laura gets to ask herself, what will she have to do? Who will she have to be? What will she have to become? What will she have to claim? What skills and tools will she need to actually be able to do that? Get rid of negativity and being so busy. Love all the togetherness with the family. Before this, we were all going in different directions, and now we see each other and spend time. Yeah, how beautiful is that? Linda says, it's really hard to want to keep any of this disaster. My business of 33 years is totally shut down. Yeah, so what can you reevaluate? And how can you pivot your business? And how can you make sure that it rebounds? Because after every recession, after every depression, after every bad thing that this world has encountered, we do come back and there is opportunity. So Linda, you get a huge opportunity to go, okay, well, wait a minute. How do I want to restructure my business? How do I want to connect to my business? How do I want to save my business? So one of the things that I've been talking about in other Facebooks is if you have a business, you need to over communicate with your clients. You need to call every single or connect with every single client you've ever had and tell them, ask them if they're okay. Just connect with every single client you've ever had and ask how they're doing. Just doing that, not looking for business, but just connecting and asking, are they okay? Are they healthy? Are they safe? I'm going to tell you that right now it's relationship building time. So you may not be having money coming in, but it's relationship building time. So just think about that. Lynn says, my business is also shut down. Yeah. There's many people. I think they say 16 million are now filing for unemployment. So there's a lot of people in the same boat as you. And what can you create out of the ashes right now? How can you become a phoenix rising? And don't get me wrong, I know you might have to mourn a little bit. You might have to grieve. But again, I really invite you to call every single client you've ever had and over communicate, connect with them, ask them how they're doing. I know those relationships will be seeds for the future. Lynn says, yes, I've done that. My heart felt so full. Yes. Marta says, I love that. Thank you, best friend Marta. My best friend Marta is watching. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Marta. Linda says, my business involves going to shows where thousands of people attend. Yeah. Well, any client you have, not sure how you've had clients. Obviously, you've had a business, Linda. So if you have a business of any sort, if you have a service business, if you, any type of business, I really invite you to contact every single client you've ever had. And whether it's email, text, or phone, and ask them if they're okay. Really invite you to do that. I think that's really important. So I'm going to tell you right now that relationships are stronger, getting stronger right now. The relationships that we have matter more right now. We're starting to see the people that really matter to us. Who are we connecting with and who aren't we? So let's start going in because I promised you part 3 of the Wheel of Freedom. But I just wanted to remind us that we have an opportunity to tap into the rebirth energy of today, whether we believe in Easter or not. There is an energetic field that we can tap into, that we can fall into, that we can lean into, that we can embrace. So I really invite you to take a moment of silence today, maybe get a piece of paper out and ask yourself, yeah, Jezebel wants to say hi, obviously. She just really wants to be here. You want to be here? Do you want to be here? Yeah? You want to be with all the people? Yeah? She's like, yes, Mom, yes. So I really invite you to grab a piece of paper and ask yourself, what would rebirth look like? If I was to embrace rebirth, what would I give up? What would I embrace? What would I let go of? What would I claim? And allow yourself the space to move through a rebirth today. Claim it for yourself, whatever that looks like, right? It might be body, it might be mind, it might be spirit, it might be business, it might be family, it might be trust, whatever it is. So today is a day of rebirth. Whether you believe in Easter or not, the energy of the planet is rebirth. So let's grab it and use it. Use that energy to propel ourselves. So Lynn says, hi, Jezebel. Yes, Jezebel wants some attention. Melissa says, my mom and I are bonding through this disaster. That's beautiful. I love that. So we've been talking about the Wheel of Freedom, have we not? We've been talking about the Wheel of Freedom. So I am going to go. Let me see if I can. Let me see. I want to make sure that that you guys can see the board here. Let me just get here for 1 second. Oh, okay, good. You can see my board. Great. I just wanted to double check you could see my board. Okay, so here we are. We've been talking about the Wheel of Fear. Remember, there's 4 aspects to the Wheel of Fear, and there are 4 aspects to the Wheel of Freedom. Remember, the Wheel of Fear is there to keep you safe, and you and I both have individualized, personalized, unique Wheel of Fear and Wheel of Freedom. And when you embrace and claim your Wheel of Fear and Wheel of Freedom, the impact of that is to have peace of mind. The impact of that is to know who you are. The impact gives you actually more courage, more fearlessness. So Wheel of Fear, we've been talking about. Now we're into the Wheel of Freedom. We've talked about essential nature. We've talked about proactive behaviors in our last episode. And today we're talking about wholeness. Wholeness. Oh my gosh, I love wholeness so much. And you have experienced wholeness. You've probably had moments of wholeness right now when you're saying about the pandemic, you're probably experiencing levels of wholeness right now in some areas of your life. So be attentive. It is completely okay to know that you already have wholeness. Wholeness isn't something you go get. Wholeness is something you have, you experience when the conditions are right. So when the conditions are right now, it's probably through luck. Oh, and the miracle, the planets are aligned and I feel lucky. Okay, now I get to feel my wholeness. No, we want to actually be proactive and actually get ourselves inside our wholeness. Jezebel's moving my mic. She keeps moving it. So wholeness is not something I want you to have because you're lucky, like you had a lucky day and everything aligned. I actually want you to be able to experience it every single day by choice. Okay. So wholeness is that quality of being. I want you to think of it. Let me go backwards. I want you to think of wholeness as the door you walk into, and on the other side of the door, everything is there that you've ever wanted. Okay. I'm going to say that again. Wholeness is like a door. And on that door is a word. And when you have that word, when you experience that word, you actually have the key to open that door. And when you open that door, when you experience that word on that door, and you now have the key to open that door, and you open it, everything on the other side is the life that truly is meant for you, right? Like this is when we feel aligned with our life, when we are feeling aligned with our life, okay? So wholeness is, well, I'm gonna, let me show you in an example of my own, and then you can see how it works. So my wholeness, I, Rhonda Britton, and again, remember, yours is different than mine. My wholeness is self-acceptance. Now, some people's wholeness is joy, intimacy, confidence. There's 10 different wholenesses, right? For me, without self-acceptance, I can't have confidence. Without self-acceptance, I can't have joy. Without self-acceptance, I can't have intimacy, right? Without self-acceptance, I can't feel loved. So for me, Rhonda Britton, might be different for you. Remember, we all have different wheels of fear and wheel of freedom. My key that unlocks the door to my freedom is acceptance, right? So I want you to think about it. When I'm on my wheel of fear, remember there's 4 places to get off your wheel of fear and to get on your essential nature. So I'm authentic, right? I practice being authentic. How do I practice being authentic? Through my proactive behaviors. And when I do my proactive behaviors, when I live on my proactive behaviors, when that's how I interact with the world, I then start feeling my wholeness. I start experiencing my wholeness. I start feeling and knowing and believing and experiencing that self-acceptance. And when I, Rhonda, not you, but I, Rhonda, again, we might have different wheels. When I, Rhonda, feel self-acceptance, I can do anything. I mean, I literally can do anything. I can go anywhere, do anything, meet anyone. I can go anywhere. So for me, self-acceptance is first before I have confidence. Self-acceptance is first before I have joy. Self-acceptance comes first before I have intimacy. Now, you might be different. Intimacy might be what you need to get self-acceptance, but I actually need self-acceptance first. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about number 4, what happens when I have self-acceptance? What are the actions that I take? What happens for me? Now, again, you have experienced your wheel of freedom. You've experienced your wheel of freedom probably in the last week. Because remember, our wheel of freedom is alive in us and we're living it, whether we know we're conscious of it or not, when we are living our true nature, when we are having all of us available to us. Remember, this tool, the wheel of fear and wheel of freedom, are tools when life isn't working for you, when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling disconnected, when you're feeling lost, when you're feeling like, what's wrong with me? Then you pull out your wheel of fear and your wheel of freedom, and it makes sense. It makes sense of the confusion. It makes sense of the crazy. It makes sense. So when you are on your wheel of freedom, that's when your life is working. It makes like, you're like, okay, this is working. My life is working. It's so graceful. It's so easy. Yes. So you've experienced your wheel of freedom before. You just didn't know the name of it and you couldn't recreate it. That's what my problem was. I couldn't recreate my wheel of freedom. It was haphazard. It was luck. It was chance. And then I would ask myself, why 1 minute can I feel connected and why the next minute do I feel disconnected? Why 1 minute can I feel powerful and the next minute I feel disempowered? That didn't make sense to me. But now the wheel of fear and wheel of freedom makes sense of all of that for me. When I'm on my wheel of fear, I feel disconnected, lost, inadequate, worthless, etc. When I'm on my wheel of freedom, that gives me the pathway out of those feelings so that I can experience my true wholeness, that I can experience all of me, that I can live the life my soul intended. Because when I have self-acceptance, anything is possible for me. And I really do mean anything. Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some hearts, right? Cynthia writes, I need to embrace people who they are not who I want them to be. Yeah, that's right. We don't get to decide who other people are, but we do get to decide, as we know, our response to them. We get to decide whether to keep our heart open or closed. We get to decide what we're seeing through our lenses. Remember, we've been talking about, let me get my lenses out. Remember, we've been talking about the only way to truly change your life is through your filtering system. So, my filtering system in fear, I'm looking it through one way. Why aren't those people doing what I want? Why aren't they? Well, it happened to me today. I was taking a walk. And as I'm walking on the sidewalk, this guy just walks in front of me, like right in front of me, and is about to walk by me and cut me off and not 6 feet away. So immediately I was like, what are you doing? You're not following the rules, right? And then you have to stop. I get to stop and go, okay, wait a minute. What was going on? Well, he may not believe in global pandemic. He may not believe that you have to isolate. Maybe he's exhausted. Maybe he just got off work. Maybe he just needs to connect. Maybe he doesn't need to think about it right now. Maybe he isn't watching the news and doesn't know about social distancing. Like there's a lot of reasons why he may have walked in front of me. And for other people might have said rude. He was rude. I don't like the word rude. I don't think anybody purposely is rude. I think they're just in fear. So in Wheel of Fear glasses, right? Well, we want to make choice and wear our Wheel of Freedom glasses. We want to make choice so that we can see a different world, right? So does that make sense? Give me your questions. Like, tell me give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up if you get it. Give me some thumbs up and hearts if you get it. And tell me the one thing that you're hearing today that is going to make an impact on you, that you're going to decide to take away from our time today. So what's one thing that you're going to do? One thing that you're going to embrace? One thing that you're going to decide to take action on, or maybe one thing that you're just willing to embrace. So tell me the one thing that you got out of our time together. And then tomorrow we're going to do the number 4, and then we're going to be able to see our whole Wheel of Freedom. And then of course we're going to put them together, and I'm going to show you how they work in connection, right? So Lori says, total sense. Nancy says, I've been getting rid of clutter and creating a more organized environment. That's beautiful, Nancy. It's making me realize that clutter has been serving a purpose of keeping me distracted from my life. Yes, Nancy. Yes, that's right. Clutter is distracting. That is right. Congratulations, Nancy. Good awareness. Harley says, you are very awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. So go ahead and tell me one thing that you got out of our talk today. Tell me one thing that you got out of our talk today. Oh, I think you have on your fear glasses. I don't know. Are you talking to me right now? I have on my freedom glasses. These are my fear glasses today, but I do change them around. So if you were watching a different Facebook, these might have been my fear glasses before. I've been learning to accept the way my 4 sons and husband think, or how they react to things, or to how I would like them to react. I've had to let go. Yeah, talk about a masterclass in letting go. I have the ability to be my own advocate. Laura, you're bringing up one of my very favorite words. I talk about that all the time in my classes. You must become your greatest advocate. That makes me so happy that you use that word. Rami says, I always remember what my response should have been after I've said the wrong thing, and I can't always take things back immediately, and it's too late by the time I can. So first of all, let's not even say right or wrong. Remember, Rami, we've talked about that language. So we want to kind of eliminate that word wrong and just say, okay, you thought of something better to say. If you can clean it up, great. If you can't clean it up, you know better next time. But saying it's wrong and beating yourself up actually takes away the power and the energy for you to be able to do it next time. That kind of decreases your self-confidence and decreases your self-esteem. So that's going to give you less ability to do it next time. So we want to just say, I mean, I do the same thing. We all, by the way, all of us, everybody I know, you know, we have a difficult conversation with somebody, and then we get in the car and we're like, oh my God, I know exactly what I should have said. That happens to all of us. So it's not about saying the wrong thing. It's about saying, how could I have done that better? How could I have been more free? Where was I in fear? Where was I grasping? Where was I, disconnected? Where was I acting out? And where would I do this differently? I have the same situation. How do I want to do it different next time? Lynn says, I want to focus on keeping community and connection. Lorianne says, I need to put me first, learn to say no. No is the most powerful word in the vocabulary. Melissa says connection. Cynthia says, taking off my blinders. I've been in tunnel vision way too long. Thank you, she writes. I need to go watch the previous ones as I missed some. Yeah, go back and watch. Harley says to stay safe and respect others. Wholeness would be to own my power and stop giving it away and make choices that keep me small. That's beautiful. Yeah, your wholeness may be power. That is absolutely, it might be powerful, right? And then we want to find the essential nature that helps you get there, because power is the result, how you feel the result. This is how it begins, right? And we're usually trying to get here first, but you've got to start here in order to actually make that real. Charlene says, I sometimes feel guilt when receiving proactive behaviors such as a massage. Yeah, well, then you get to know that's another place you get to grow. Because guilt, remember, is a judgment upon yourself, thinking A, B, or C, based on circumstances of D, E, and F. So guilt is a wonderful emotion to release from your life, because guilt is only self-punishment. Yeah, guilt is self-punishment. Charlene says, reassess my feelings. There are times of proactive behaviors. Yes. Rami says, I like that phrase. Say something different instead of wrong. I will try to remember that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong. It's just you need to up-level your communication skills. So do I, right? We all do. Harley says we need to love one another, but if they don't want that, then walk away, think about yourself. Yeah, or practice keeping an open heart. Everybody's not here to love you, right? That's not what they're here for. Everyone's here working out their own stuff. So can you keep your heart open and know when to say no and know when to say yes? How can you keep your heart open to people who may not particularly care for you or may not love you, but they're called your family? Right? A connection. Martin says connection and be of service to others. So excellent. Great work, everybody. Awesome. So tomorrow we're going to meet back here and we're going to go over number 4, and then we're going to have the whole Wheel of Freedom built. And if you have not been here with us for the last 10 days, you go please and watch the other videos. We talked about paradox. We talked about, I gave a couple exercises about control and no control. I talked a lot about in the beginning about different tools you can use going through this global pandemic. And then we started to break down the Wheel of Fear and Wheel of Freedom. And tomorrow we're going to finish the Wheel of Freedom, and then we're going to put them together. Okay. And then we're going to keep on keeping on to support each other as we move through this so that we can emerge from this time to truly live the life our soul intended. Yes, release guilt. I don't want it. I don't need it. That's right, Marta. Melissa says guilt is a wasted emotion. Facebook, one person says all your videos are great. Thank you so much. So until the next time, tell me, I want to hear what's the one thing you got out of today. Always need to hear that one thing you got out of today. So if you haven't written that down yet, go ahead and do that. Tell me the one thing you got out of today. And then until tomorrow, embrace rebirth, claim it for yourself, take a few minutes to ask yourself, what does rebirth mean to you? And what do you want to rebirth within yourself? Use the energy of today. Whether you believe in Easter or not, there is rebirth happening around you. Claim it, own it, step into the energy field so that it can propel you further, faster. So until tomorrow, be fearless. Great work, everyone. Thank you. Great work, everyone. Be fearless. Be fearless. I'm looking for the way to get. I'll be there. Be fearless. Great. Be fearless.